welcome everyone. Hope you're having an awesome day today. We've got Ernest, and we're going to be talking about building your brand. And this is something I'm always excited to hear conversations around this because I don't think that this will ever get old. Man, I think a brand needs to do two things. One, continually stick to that long-term vision of what it is that we stand for, right? And then number two is continually make sure that we are within brand. Because I think sometimes we forget and we watch it happen with some smaller companies or agents. They go off brand. I think they're trying to figure stuff out, right? So you do see
Yeah.
that sometimes. But Ernest, where do we start with this, man?
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. We actually do have a slide deck presentation if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
We can get that shared. Let me
Let me
share here.
say good morning. What's up, Gail? I see you, Deborah. Nice. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you hit it on the head, Tristan, with as an agent, it's really hard and easy at the same time to forget about that brand establishment. And I think it's very important for agents and realtors in the industry to really start focusing on the blueprint of building a brand, right? Understanding that it's not just something that you can turn off and on, right? You don't just have this magic switch where you turn your brand on one day, you shut it off the next day. It needs to be a consistent brand that you're establishing throughout the length of your entire real estate career so that you have not only a good footprint, but you have a good brand awareness and everybody recognizes that brand. I think it's super important to establish that. And as you do establish it, you're going to start winning listings. You're going to start winning even more business as your brand becomes more recognized throughout whether it's a locality or even multi areas, whether you're a agent licensed in California and Washington. I know we saw that quite frequently. There's agents that are dual licensed in both states or in different markets, right? So it's super important to establish that brand. And today we're going to really kind of walk through the blueprint of how you can establish that brand and also trust to win listings and win business with Lofty. So with that being said, the second thing is the fundamentals of building a team brand or building a brand, right? Everybody has a brand, not just brokerages, not just agents, not just teams. Everybody has a brand. And I think you should all kind of recognize that brand and first define your unique value proposition. You probably harp on this very, very frequently. I'm in the lab coat groups all day, every day, and you're always harping on the defining your unique value proposition. Like, what is it that you're good at that you want to share with everybody else that you can help build your book of business, right? Are you, a first-time home buyer specialist? Are you a luxury listing specialist? What is your brand identity? And defining that is the first step to any good brand blueprint, right? You don't just wake up and start selling homes and go, oh, by the way, I'm a luxury listing specialist, right? That needs to be defined from the very get-go because that's what you're really going to build that brand around, right? You're not going to go and say you're a luxury listing specialist, and all of a sudden you're posting to your social outlets that you have, $250,000 homes for sale, unless that's considered luxury in, of course, your market, right? So defining your unique value proposition is always the first step in creating a good brand identity. Right. So the next step in that is to develop that brand identity, right? Start developing what your color schema is going to look like, develop the name, what your tagline is going to look like. Maybe you have a slogan. Maybe there's been something that's trended with you throughout maybe like your school age days, right? Where you were in high school. Maybe you had a nickname or you had something funny or a funny phrase or catchphrase that you used pretty frequently, right? Develop that brand identity. Start looking and thinking about what that logo is going to look like, what that name's going to look like, what that slogan's going to sound like, and if there's going to be any kind of catchphrase, right? Because these are all things that when we talk about consistency, we're going to be talking about things like video content,
Yeah.
web content, your presence, and that's where you're going to want to continue to set that brand presence to be known, right? So when you create a video, you're going to end your video with a call to action that says, "Hey, I'm your first time home buyer guide," right? Or "I'm your first time home buyer guy. Call me now. Click the link down below or button down below." And then the third step to this is implementing the right technology to execute your vision. So really kind of understanding what it is that you're going to need to really deploy this brand awareness strategy. Now, most common methods are, of course, your web presence, your social media outlets, whether that consists of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, whatever you call it nowadays. You're going to want to make sure that you have all the right technology to execute what your vision is. And to do this, we really kind of talk about the essential tools. Now, if you're doing this on Lofty, these are essentially the tools that we want you to leverage when it comes to brand development. Go ahead.
No,
Oh,
you're good. You're
I
good.
thought I heard that.
I took a snapshot of this so I can post it up in the Lofty community.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. So essential tech tools for brand development, right? Again, I hit on it already. Your website. Your website is the first thing that people are going to land on, if not your social platforms, and they're going to see that brand identity. And it's important that you don't have brand breaks or brand separations where you have one brand on one page and then another brand on another page, unless you can somehow combine those to create a unique vision. But you're customized your website. With Lofty, you have the ability to have a customized SEO optimized website that contains your brand, your logo, and it can have all your color schema and everything attached to it to create that brand awareness anytime traffic lands on your website. Maybe you're running Google pay-per-click ads, you're driving traffic organically to that site. You want to make sure that your brand and your footprint are on that actual site. The next items are the market reports and the market snapshots, right? So developing this brand awareness. Everybody on the call today most likely has a book of business or has a sphere of influence or has some sort of connections. Getting those people into your actual Lofty account, getting them set up on market reports and market snapshots are going to put a big emphasis on your brand because now they're going to be going out from your branded web email, right? So if you have, let's just say like Ernest at lofty.com or Brandon at lofty.com, they're going to start getting that branded email from your website and those market reports. So they're going to be driven back to that brand and they're always seeing this. If you think about what Amazon's done so like effectively, the one thing that they have done really great aside from many other things is that they consistently stay in front of you. Everywhere you go, you see that little A, you see it on all their boxes, you see it on all of their website and their mobile app and their emails. You're consistently seeing that actual brand. And that's what we're trying to create here with the actual Lofty platform. The social studio aspect of this, making sure that you're able to capture those things in social studio and consistently create a social presence, right? This is a little bit different because now we're talking about social, making sure you're constantly posting to all those outlets, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google My Business. Lofty's made it super easy for you to do that. And you could easily go into your dashboard and make those connections to those social platforms. And it's as easy as a 2 second process where you can go in there and actually leverage it to create a post for all those social channels at once. And then Lofty Blast, talking about Lofty Blast, we have the ability to actually do Lofty Blast where we can, brand those listing blast that you're going to send out. So whenever you get a new listing, leveraging tools like Lofty Blast are going to help you build more opportunities, but also it's going to go out from your branded agent website. So now you're running some paid advertising to drive some paid marketing through your actual social platform to generate more opportunities, but leveraging that listing. And ultimately, that's going to create more opportunities within that area of which you're actually running that blast and have that listing because people now are not only going to see your sign with your brand on the front of that house or in the front yard of that house, they're now going to be starting to see your digital ads run through their news feeds as well on social networks like Facebook and Instagram. And then we have coming soon the agent branding bundle, right, where you could actually have all of these bundled into one, as well as Lofty Present. Now, what I'm talking about here, and I just want to do a quick screen share of the actual Lofty uh, platform here. And let me share here. Can you see this?
I can. I see the wing test,
Yep.
testimonial value. Yep, I got you.
So inside of marketing, we're going to have basically your social studio. Now, to build any good brand, it's about consistency, and that's the secret sauce to all this, right? So if we talk about anything or you take away anything from today, it's all about consistency. You have to consistently post to your social platforms, post and send content out to your sphere of influence, send it out to your database. You want to continuously stay top of mind, but also stay in the top of those feeds. So with Social Studio, it's literally as easy as clicking create post. And inside of here, we have Lofty AI Marketer now too. That makes it even more simple for you. So as you have new listings or coming soon, the AI is already picking that up for you and will create you a post natively inside of the Lofty Social Studio platform. So here it is. I can now go ahead and just click on it, use it. It automatically puts it into my platform here over off to the right where it says edit post. I can then select the social feeds as to which I want to post that into. So I did that literally in less than 2 seconds. But again, it's about the brand, making sure you're connecting to those pages that you want to establish that brand awareness to. It's going to
Yeah.
drive them back to this website that's, again, branded with the same brand that they're seeing in your social outlets. And then once they land on the listing, of course, it's branded all to you, all about consistency. So making sure you're going in here at least 1 to 2, maybe 3 times a week. Tristan, you probably have some good advice on social scheduling, what that might look like as far as like how consistent agents and realtors should be posting on a consistent basis. What is that, about 3 to 4 times a week now?
You know, I would say if you're only going through here and using this awesome feature, I would do this 3 or 4 times a week. But if you're also posting and showing up with video and you're posting personal stuff and mixing it in often, I would say post every day if you're mixing everything else in
Right.
because people want to see a big mix of everything. And dude, I'd say every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a firm believer of at least once a day. Most of you all will know, how your audience reacts, whether that's first thing in the morning or in the evening. Some people say it's in the evenings, better time to post, but it's just whenever you're getting most of your engagement, it's the best time to post.
Or whenever, listen, I think people overthink it. Whenever they feel like, hey, I should post something, just post it until you get into a groove.
Right. I
Good,
agree.
good
And
point.
and these will have to one thing that's not being shown here because this is a photo. If this was actually a video, you could use the reel and the story option as well. So you could select from post, story, and reel up here if it takes a reel. So it's pretty cool. So if you have all your content, you want to feed it into all your social outlets from Lofty, you could definitely do that. So if you're creating 9x6s for TikTok or for any of those other social platforms, you could bring that video into here and publish it directly to all your social feeds. So you don't need any other third-party tools anymore to actually do this, which is really cool.
I like this. There's a question here, Ernest.
Yeah.
Uh, David, what's up, David? What do you recommend if you don't have a big social media audience yet? I'm just getting started with social and don't have a meaningful online presence yet.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. You and I probably have different or maybe similar answers. I would say start posting, even if you don't have a big network, start using some of that organic reach that you can leverage on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube. If you have any long form content or any like pre-listing stage videos that you might have, shoot a quick short reel about that video, post it into YouTube Shorts, and then re-link it back to your long-term video. And you're going to notice a huge traffic difference, right? Because you're going to get more views on your shorts, but it's going to drive more traffic to your long form content, which is just a really good strategy. And then in that YouTube description, you could start leveraging it to redirect to other social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and some of those other avenues where you might not have a very good, like big audience established. And then the other thing too is run some brand awareness ad campaigns on like Facebook if you want to get people to like your page or follow you, and so forth. But you would want to have some strong content if you did that. Definitely shoot a video, tell them why they need to follow your page. Again, everything has to have a value proposition, right? It has to have some sort of value that the engager or the person who you're telling to follow you is going to get from that page, right? So that's where that consistency comes into play, right? Making sure you're continuously posting stuff to the feed so that they're consistently seeing your brand and you're delivering on that value proposition.
That's it. Dude, I agree with you. I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah, 100%. Great question, though, because I know there's a lot of new agents out there who probably don't have a huge following, who are, wondering, where do I go get followers? I would encourage each of you all to dig deep into your personal network already as well, right? Like people you might know, maybe past coworkers, colleagues, anything like that, maybe fellow, students or anything like that. If you were a teacher, just start really kind of thinking of 10 people on a daily basis, if not weekly basis, that you can dive into, reach out to, and maybe gain some followers through that avenue. So, send them a quick text. Hey, man, got into real estate. Was wondering if you'd give my page a follow. I post some pretty cool content about the market around you. Let me know if you have any questions. Here's the link. Drive them back to that website or to your Facebook or to your Instagram.
I
And
love
what
that.
I,
One thing I want to add for everyone here, don't buy your followers, please. Like that is the worst thing you can do, not only for your business, but for your algorithm. We can tell who has fake followers and who doesn't, and they do nothing for you. They just kind of it's an ego play. So please
Mhm.
don't do that. Build this so that you're building your actual business. At the end of the
Right.
day, if you've got 100 real followers. That's what matters. How are you showing up for those?
Right. 100%. Because those are the people that are going to listen to you, right? Like the people you go and buy are most likely never going to see your page or go through your page. But the people who are going to have that a connection with you are going to be the ones that listen, right? The ones that actively follow, engage, and so forth. And you'll have a better social presence that way. Again, though, if you're new, you can run like not paid ads for followers, but run paid ads for your content, right? Go shoot a new home build community and get some pretty cool content around that and run some paid ads to drive some lead forms or whatever the case might be. Put them in the Lofty, set them up on a new construction home report or new construction home property search, and let that start establishing your brand for you. All right. So there's some really cool ways that you could actually do that.
Deborah is asking, do you recommend to have a website? Let me go on this one, Ernest. I already know your answer, so let me go.
Yeah.
You for
Good.
sure. You for sure. I know your answer. Deborah, yes. The answer is yes, because you don't want them going on. You don't want any of your database going to Zillow. You don't want them going to Redfin. You don't want them going to Realtor.com or anything else out there. At the end of the day, you want to nurture your people, which is your database, your people with your website. Whether it's you sending them from here, this social, or where you go on Lofty and you're like, hey, let me run some Google ads. Let me run some Facebook or Meta, right, ads. They're all going to go back to your website. They're going to be nurtured with property and they're going to continually see your brand. That is the key.
Yeah, 100%. And where Tristan's talking about here too, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this page. Is as you go into your contacts page inside of Lofty, you have the ability to within the engagement here set up things like property alerts, market reports, or market snapshots, market reports, home value reports, right? You have the option of setting all of these up that are going out from your branded agent website, right? So they're going to consistently come back to your brand. The email they're going to get is going to come from Deborah at deboraagency.com, right? It's all going to be branded and unique, and you're creating that established brand awareness around the brand that you're ultimately proud of, right? The one you wear on your chest. Literally, the one you wear on your chest if it's on a polo or on a t-shirt that you wear every day to go help people sell a home.
Perfect. Man, hold on. There might be another question. Deborah just wants to add one thing. The reason I'm asking because I had a website. I didn't have a good experience, only a big expense. Deborah, that does make sense. The great thing about this though is that it's an all-in-one. So it's actually a really good graphic you just showed, Ernest.
Yeah,
But
that's why wanted to pull it up.
that was perfect. Ernest, explain this because I think that answers Deborah's question.
Yeah, I think it's important to have everything. And when we talk about tech stack and developing and creating like this brand blueprint, it really doesn't take just one tech stack. It takes multiple, right? And when I say multiple, most of the time when you go piecemeal this together, you're going to end up with five different solutions that you're trying to connect together. And what Lofty's done is made it all seamlessly integrated into a one-time solution where you don't have to go find a website provider. You don't have to go then find a CRM. You don't then have to go find an AI assistant. You don't then have to go find a dialer. Like this is all packaged together for you as the agent so that you don't have to spend that time trying to figure out these integrations because realistically, I mean, in most cases, you're not the developer, right? We developed this for it to be easy for you, the agent, to manage your business from one solution. But it takes all of these items and actions for you to be able to create that brand awareness. Because without a website, I don't know how you would honestly sell a house. It's probably pretty difficult, Tristan, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. You're making it more difficult. You're relying on technology that you don't really control, your MLS, right? Like I
Mhm.
said, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, where where the consumer can go without you.
Right. And in most cases, Zillow, Realtor.com, all of those big kind of players that you would rely on are going to be way more expensive than what you would have to pay for an IDX website that has all of the listings. One of the coolest things about the Lofty IDX websites too, I was a believer on some other products that I used previously. But one of the biggest things that I love about the IDX websites with Lofty is that they index almost all your pages. So as you blog, as you post content, as you new listings hit the market, they're continuously indexing those pages for Google web crawlers to crawl so that your web presence is as established as possible. So it's important to even go into like your IDX website and create blog content. Link back from your social media outlets to your website because that helps your web presence, right? So any of you on the call who might not know what Google crawlers are, basically Google deploys kind of these web crawlers. I like to call them spiders just as an example. And they crawl all over your website and they read all of your content and what it's about. And Lofty has all of those pages indexed and visible for those crawlers. So if you created localized blogs about your community, and you were to do it consistently on a consistent basis, you're going to help your SEO, which is your search engine optimization rankings, start to go through the roof. And that's also why it's important to have your own IDX website, because without that, if you're using other tools to drive them back to, like a KCM or one of those other ones where you don't have a website where those are established, you're not getting any value. You're doing all the work, but you're doing the work for somebody else, right? Because they're going to end up having the benefit of that web traffic that you just drove to them. So
True.
when you do this all together, it only makes sense from the websites to the dynamic CMAs, the listing tools, the AI assistants, the power dialers, the reporting, the transaction management, the dynamic lead scoring. So as they come in, we have dynamic lead scoring. So once they register, we check the validity of the email, the phone numbers. We're giving these scores dynamically as well because as they interact with your website, we're able to increase or decrease that score based off of key features and things that those leads are doing with your website. Or if they open a market report, a home value report, we're able to see all of that and it's intuitively integrated into your all-in-one Lofty platform.
I love that, man.
Are there any other questions out there? Because
No, I
that's
think honestly, I think the biggest question was how does this all fit together? And you answered that very well. And I think in essence, this if you follow this beautiful circle, right? This little graph,
Mhm.
it's it's really identifying all of the places and things we need to have and do in order to complete how we need to show up on online, in social media, and everywhere else. I'm looking at lead gen, website, CMA, listing tools, AI especially, right? Power dialer, reporting. You've brought it all together and you're allowing me to show up easier and not worry about this so I can focus on my relationships. Because that's what I need to do, man. I need
Right.
They need to show up for my clients. I need to make sure that I can make calls and I just move on to the next one. And this does a lot of the heavy lifting, especially for me who has an admin and somebody who's calling and dialing with us, right? It makes this a lot easier.
Yeah, I think the AI assistant's probably like one of our most popular features because as you or as Lofty generates the lead for you, um, that AI assistant naturally carries the conversation with those leads that are being generated and helping qualify them before passing them off to the agent, right? So, I
Right.
mean, I've been in the real estate tech industry for over 10 years now. And I go back to the days where it was like agents hiring, virtual dialers and virtual callers and things like that. And now we have this AI assistant that has the ability to actually carry a natural language conversation with leads that are registering on your website or from your digital advertising, all the way to qualifying them and finding out whether or not they're a renter or buyer or they're looking for a 3-2 Rambler, out in Oceanside. Like it has the ability to consistently do that and keep you, the agent, on the go so that you're not having to worry about creating smart plans, so having to worry about following up with everybody in your system to see who's ready to do it. This is going to identify those key opportunities so that you can focus on the making money aspect of your business.
I agree. All right, let me see if we've got any questions. Let me see. Nope. All right, Kendra did put in a link. If you have a question about Lofty, which I know in the Facebook group somebody asked, this is Chime, right? I'm like, yes, this is Chime. They just
Chime
changed,
rebranded, right? When we rebranded,
rebranded, which is
we
perfect, right? So yes, it was. They switched it. They made it even better. So jump in, take a look. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Ernest, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions by email or are you on social?
I'm on social. I'm also in the Lofty Success group. So if you're part of there, I'm in the Lab Coats group as well. So I'll occasionally intermingle with some of y'all out there who have questions about Lofty and things like that. So
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ernest. Appreciate you
yeah,
and everyone else. Thanks for tuning in.
thanks, y'all.